Games are everywhere, but Islamic games are nowhere to be found, and I think the Ummah deserves better. Welcome to episode 2 of my devlog, Building an Islamic Game. So today I'll be making a leaderboard feature, because I realized the game is fun to play, but there's no goal, there's no achievement. And I think having a leaderboard gives you something to work towards and a sense of progression. Now, you might be thinking, why are you telling me about the leaderboard? I want to know what the actual game is about. Well, I don't believe you. Because if you really wanted to know, you'd be subscribed, so you'd be the first to receive any updates that I post about the game and development, but clearly you aren't, so Anyway, the first thing we need to do is to decide what kind of leaderboard we want. Do you want the leaderboard to be persistent, so you keep your progression forever, or do you want it to reset every week or so? Persistent leaderboards are good for long-term players, because it really gives them a sense of achievement. But not so much for new players, because when you see players with thousands of points on the leaderboard already, it feels like it's impossible to ever climb. Refreshing leaderboards, on the other hand, are much more balanced, because skilled and dedicated players can easily climb their way back up to the top of the leaderboard each week. And for new players, it might be difficult, but it's still at least in reach. To have the best of both worlds, we're going to use a resetting leaderboard to have that fast pace, but at the same time, we're going to store users' progress long term as statistics. So, we need something that will reset the leaderboard weekly. Easy. But wait. Some players will sign up, and then they might not play for a long time. So every time a user opens the game, we're going to log it as their last login date. So now we're only going to put players with their last login date in the last 2 weeks on the leaderboard. Nice and simple. But wait. Imagine Ethar were to get really popular with thousands or tens of thousands or maybe even millions of players. Having one single global leaderboard would be a nightmare. Imagine the cost of 1 million database requests every time you open a page. Not to forget server scaling and image costs as well. And on that note, if you'd like to support, there'll be a link in the description. Now, all that's left is to make a nice design. If we want to compete with the games and whatever's already out there, we need to make sure that it looks and feels premium, just as good as everything else or even better. I've already made a somewhat nice design, but I don't want it to just be a static, boring page. When we make a project for the sake of Allah, every part needs to be made to perfection. So, we'll have a cool slide and fade in animation when you open the leaderboard. I wasn't a fan of the timings, so I tweaked it a bit, and I also added on some borders onto the top 3 players and the player themselves. And lastly, I've just added a button on the home screen so you can see and access the leaderboard easily. Now, all we need to complete the leaderboard experience is a way to reward players. But I've been sat down coding all day long, so time to go annoy my little brother instead.
I need clips
For what?
for my YouTube video.
Okay, back to work. Players who come first, second, or third should get some kind of reward, but most likely they won't be online while the leaderboard resets, so we need some way to deliver their gifts or their rewards to them, and that's what the treasury is. But remember, we also said we're going to store long-term statistics and achievements, so we also need somewhere to store those as well, like a sort of trophy collection. I'm not really that good at UI design, to be honest, so if you have any suggestions, just let me know on how to make this better. But this is what we got for now. And that's pretty much everything for the leaderboard feature. If you're interested in trying out the game is currently in an pre-alpha stage, so I can't really reveal too much. But if you would like access, you can sign up at www.playetham.com, and you should get an invite at some point in the future, whenever I feel like it. And that's everything for today. I really do think we need more projects like this, so if you're interested, please do support and subscribe to stay updated. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.